No, but there's a book on love, black love signs.
Oh, black love signs.
Why you got to make it
You
a
have
white
to
black
send
thing?
me. I definitely send that.
Well,
send
no,
that
but
copy.
it may.
I want to know what the. Take a screenshot of that for me.
You're not about to read it, bro. Why you fronting?
I'm gonna definitely.
No, but well, what I'm just saying. Well, okay, so pretty much the thing is that like it says the positive love traits, the negative, and then like how to get that person, or like it'll give advice. So I'll just have it right here.
Okay.
All right, you guys, welcome to the show. We got some new people today. Well, Chanel's back, so welcome, Chanel. Thank you for being here. We have Khadija, the lovely, beautiful Khadija. We've got Kim and we've got Reza. Fun fact about Reza, we'll get into that afterwards, though. He's not Asian, guys, by the way. So we'll get into it. And then we've got Michelle back again, lovely, beautiful Michelle, and we got Darnell. He's gonna be my punching bag today. So.
I punch back, man. You better be careful.
I got a lot of heat for you. Okay, so Darnell I'm sorry, that was the wrong word. Encouraged us to talk about love languages, and I think that's a good idea. We got a couple questions that we want to go through. I don't know if you guys want to start with just mentioning the love languages first.
Yeah,
and then
we can bring it up. If some people don't know, we have words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time. And acts of service and gift giving. And just kind of go out with the questions and see what everybody thinks about it. Don't be shy. So one of the first questions that I have is, do you believe someone can show their love using a love language without expecting in return?
Like if someone's words of love language is words of affirmation, can they elaborate, like if their words of affirmation, they're showing that, but they don't expect words of affirmation back?
Exactly. So you pick whichever love language you're thinking about, whatever topic it is, and just think, how would that look to you? How would you view a love language from someone without them expecting you to do it in return? That's like, like when you meet somebody, you tell them, oh, you look really, really lovely today, right? And they're wearing a trash bag or something. And you're like in a position of, oh, you know what? You're wearing the hell out of that trash bag, right? Something where you're not obligated to give a response to, right? Where someone's not looking for that, or that's not the reason why they're using that love language.
Okay, but just to simplify it, like if my love language is words of affirmation and I want to give someone words of affirmation, right?
Right.
But I don't expect words of affirmation back. Do you guys, and that applies to all the love languages, do you guys think that that's going to work when you guys are when the person can give it and not expect it? Or
I'm gonna give my answer, but I'm not sure if I'm answering it right. So my specific love language is quality time, right? I want my man to sit down with me and just hang out. Like I want to talk. So there's also, with love languages, there's also a dialect, right? And so my dialect in quality time is conversation. So I want someone to sit down and have like a meaningful, like heartfelt conversation with me. So like I used to think like, oh my gosh, I'm probably oversharing, right? Like, but then I realized I'm not oversharing. That's my love language. Like, I don't want to scratch the surface with someone. Like, I don't want to talk about what our favorite colors are. I don't want to talk about like how many brothers you have. Like, I want to know like what happened to you when you were younger that you and like your brother are so bonded. Like, I want to know what sets your soul on fire.
Wait, which love language is that again?
Mine is quality time, right? Okay. So like, I want someone to sit there, talk to me, let's hang out, let's go hiking together, let's sit in the car, let's have conversations. But like for me, I'm gonna ask my guy or whoever, I'm like, hey, do you want to go on a hike with me? Like that's me, I guess, maybe showing my love language, right? But like that may not be what they're looking for. So for instance, my ex, his was like words of affirmation. So he needed me to say like, I love you, thank you so much for taking out the trash. So I don't think that it's possible for it to necessarily work. Like I think it's good for you to be able to recognize if someone's saying words of affirmation to me, like it helps me to recognize maybe what their love language is. So I'm not sure if that answers the question.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It was kind of drawn out, but yeah.
Oh, I knew
That-
it was. I'm so
that
sorry.
totally
No,
answers
Oh,
the
wait,
question.
did-
She's
I
sharing
like
her
it.
love language.
Did I forget to mention to you? Because I told everyone like I'm gonna like talk trash to everyone today. So
It's fair. It's
Oh,
fair. It's
okay.
fine. It's
okay,
fine.
Khadija.
Well, I think I'm gonna answer that with a question. So,
Okay.
are you supposed to love someone using your love language or their love language? Because
That's a good question.
I've-
That's a great question.
I've always been very confused about that. I don't know if it's, A, B, or both. I've been with someone who needed words of affirmation, and I hate to, it just doesn't work for me. I can't be with someone and tell them constantly and remind them, hey, I love you. You're doing a great job. Like,
Mm.
I feel this way
It's
for
both-
you. I can show it, but for me, I don't feel comfortable just affirming that for someone. So we always argued about that because he wanted me to say and tell him more things, and I just held back all the time because I wasn't comfortable with that. So I don't know. How do you?
So it's
It's
hard
supposed
to
to be-
expect.
it's-
Go ahead, Chanel.
It's supposed to be in like theory, you loving them the way they need to be loved,
Mhm.
and then them loving you the way you. So whatever yours is. So it should have, in theory, been you telling him his words of affirmation, and
Yeah.
then him satisfying yours.
Wait, let's get to this. Why was it so hard for you to tell him like, "Hey, you look handsome" or whatever he was trying to hear?
Because I
Right.
For me, I'm a very,
That's mine. That's why I'm asking.
because I'm a very natural person. I can't say something if it's
You can't
not.
be fake.
I can't be fake.
Right.
And if it's not how I feel in the moment, I'm not gonna tell you something you just want to hear
Right.
if it's not coming from my heart.
I agree
you
with
know?
that.
But what if like on the same token, like what if your love language was like affectionate, what's that one called? The
Physical touch.
Physical
Physical
touch,
touch.
and he never
Physical
touched
touch.
you because he was like, I just don't want to touch
Right.
you.
Mm.
I'm not feeling.
Then you're
it
not
at
a
the
match.
moment.
Right.
Yeah, that's why some people just don't work. And I think a part of it, it's also balancing kind of like priorities of love language because your love language it doesn't necessarily apply to just your partner. It applies to your family, your friends, like the people that you love, the people that you interact
Exactly.
with.
Mhm.
So with that said, it's like sometimes I will show a love language that I would like to be like bounced back. So like if it was like between us, oh my God, I almost like pulled this. But yeah, if it's like between us two, like yeah, I would expect reciprocation because we've discussed about love languages. He knows what works for me. I know what works for him. But if it's like friends or if it's someone at the gym, right, and they really want reassurance, sometimes I can't be like, you're doing amazing if you just failed like 4 lips in a row, you know? So I think
Right.
it just really is dependent on how close you are with that person. So, it's going to be an energy drain if I have to like reflect that to every single person I meet. Sometimes it's just, it just doesn't work like that.
That kind of goes to, have you ever dealt with a type of person that either they called you on the phone or just like you just said, you walked in a room and your energy level is all the way through the roof, right? And that person walks up and like, yeah, I'm just having a rough day and everything's not working out for me today and I'm just having this going on and this going on. And now you're trying to uplift them, right? But while you're giving to them, they're taking from you, right? And so what happens is now your energy level is less. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so what I look at when it comes to that, man, it's a drain for one. The second part is there are times, whether it's personal work, anything, you're going to be in a position like that. Even in the gym, you have to give that energy out, right? But then also, now you have to replenish that.
Yeah.
Either you got to find it yourself
Right.
or somebody else to pour back into you. So
Right.
and at the end of the day, is when you get home to your mate, whoever you're with, or you're talking to them on the phone, that's that opportunity for them to pour back into you, right? Because if they're having a bad day, a rough day, it's like, man, you know what, man, I was just in a great mood. I just talked to my mom, my cousin, my dad, or whatever. And for some reason, I'm drained right now. This fool or me just called me with some nonsense and just screwed up my day. Now I'm just all jacked up behind it, right? So now you have to have that energy level boost. That's where
That's a good point.
your mate comes in You're like, you know what? Yeah, but you did what you were supposed to do. You helped them figure it out. You helped them solve that problem, and I'm here for you, right? In relationships, and a lot of times we get mixed up in that part of one day you may have your 50%, he may have 20, or he may have 30, you may have 50.
Yeah.
But now you
I
have
always got 100%, bro. Green light always.
bruh. You have to find that place where you can pull that extra percentage for your mate, you know, and some days it may be a week, it may be a month or whatever, but you have to find that energy level to pull it for them. And if you can't find that, that could mean that that person's not for you. You're selfish as fuck. You know what I mean? Or you just don't have that nurturing, giving, caring, compassionate spirit that can help somebody else bring their level to where it needs to be.
I think when you say like 50-50, I think each person should aim for 60-40, where each person wants to be the person pouring 60% in.
That's a great way to think about
Like,
it.
if
I
it's
love
going
that.
50-50,
Yeah.
you have set boundaries that don't move. Everyone just does their part. But if both people try to do more than their part to support the other person, and both person wants to be the 60%, we got more love, you know? Like, we don't have to
Oh, I
set the
love
bar
that.
at 100.
That's
we can keep
interesting
going.
because nothing is ever 50-50.
Right. Nothing
No,
is
never,
ever
ever
It will never
50-50.
be 50-50.
Right.
So if you look at it in the mindset of, you know what, every day I'm going to come and try to give my 60, 65% or whatever
Yep.
into the relationship, this friendship, the family, that changes things. That's
Yeah.
okay.
And you know you're going to be taken care of. If you can't give your 60%, you
Mm-hmm.
know that they already are. So if both persons has that goal of 60%, you're going to be taken care of.
Nice. Huh. Oh, me?
Right. What you got to say?
It's going way over my head, bro.
I love it.
That's an interesting take on it. I like that. I like it. What do you?
Well, me, I'm going back to like an experience factor of it. I had an ex that was, you know, the gift giver basically, and she kind of took it because my personal love language is quality touch or quality
Physical touch?
Physical touch. Sorry.
There you go. Okay.
I
I haven't seen you touch her once, but it's okay.
Basically.
We keep that off camera. We don't do that for free.
But so basically she gave me a gift and she knew my love language was, you know, physical touch.
Okay.
And she used that towards like to blackmail me to be like, oh, like I don't want to go like going deep into that, but she blackmailed me like, oh, you need to give me this at this time, and it just kind of
That
went.
goes to what we were just saying.
Exactly.
She expected it in return. Wow.
Yeah, and then it just went too far into it. I'm like, yeah, no.
We're done here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it only lasted like a month.
Nice.
But still to the fact that she
I'm glad you got out.
Wait, how many
Basically-
gifts did she give you in a month?
like one a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, so
family
she
was.
She was like love bombing. in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
Ah,
I
okay.
think she went through like some traumatic stuff, and
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
just went towards that. But then that kind of added trauma to my like personal life,
Mm.
to where now it's like I won't accept any gifts from anyone.
Yeah,
Like-
Made your
because
job
you don't
very
know if
easy,
it's
right?
coming with like alternative motives.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like even like for my birthday and stuff, like just going into personal life, parents, what do you want for birthday? Nothing.
Nothing.
Don't give me anything.
Yeah,
I just want to stay away from that.
Right.
Because then let's say, you know, it obviously won't happen, but in my head, I'm like, oh, if I accept it, they want something in return.
Yeah,
I just don't want to go through that traumatic experience again.
Bro, this girl
Right.
traumatized you.
She jacked you
Yeah,
up.
she's like, she knows who it is. Don't want it to happen again.
Can I give you a handshake at least?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, hey, look, all I'm gonna ask from you or want you to do is, how old are you?
22.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I look. It's the
Oh,
beard. I
man,
look
man,
young.
You look like you like 78 over there. Man. Every year for my birthday, right? What I do with all of my friends and I tell them, look, man, this is what we're gonna do for my birthday. We're doing push-ups. That's all I want from everybody. Everybody has to give the amount of my birthday in push-ups. Yours are easy.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Yeah.
But like again, like for my birthday, I'll just be like, don't bring anything. Let's just go
Yeah,
kick
right,
it. Let's
right.
go out. Pretty
you gotta
basic.
have a good time.
Exactly. Just you don't gotta spend money. I'll take care of it.
When's your birthday?
May 26th.
Okay, we just missed it, man. A couple months.
Wow, I'm not doing no push-ups for your birthday, bro.
You're totally going to do push-ups for
I'm
my
over here
birthday.
trying to count like. Can I do more than 5? I don't know.
Everybody gonna have to chip in. You got a couple of months to work up to it.
No, I got the 60-40, so whatever I can do, he's gonna pick up for me.
Oh, he gonna pick up the slack.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay, you coach him up to it. That's all we need.
I got you.
Yeah, okay, teamwork.
All right, are we good on this question? Or Chanel, did you have something to add to that?
No, I'm good.
Okay, next question.
Next question is.
We need a translator for Darnell, though. He'd be asking it, and I'd be like, what? I
that's
think what he
just-
meant to say
the
was.
level of understanding is just gone. So, what have you learned about the difference between love languages? Whether it's either you using a love language or someone using a love language on you.
That everybody's love languages are not the same. Next question.
I think people neglect to understand that they go hand in hand. Like, yeah, there's 5 different major categories, but half the time you're giving gifts, you're probably going to an event and spending quality time with someone. So a lot of it, it really does go hand in hand. It's a matter of just prioritizing. So you don't have to say like, my one love language is quality time. My one love language is gift giving. It's like, I would prefer this, this, and this, but I understand this, this, and this. So in a relationship, if you can kind of list it on a spectrum, like from like most accepted to like least prioritized, if you go from like most to least and discuss it with your partner, and it all really does go hand in hand, then that gives you a pretty big goal point for that person to aim for, so they don't feel trapped with just one way to show you love.
Okay.
Around the room, anyone else? Chanel? You got a
I feel
limited
like,
time, too.
What happened?
It's going to drop off at 45, so we're like 15 minutes in.
Okay, 15 minutes in. Or wait, at 2:45?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'll let you know when it's about to
Alright.
be done.
Okay, sounds good. I feel like, so for love languages, like, like one is priority, and then the other ones, like it could, come with another. But I feel like for me, it becomes a problem or issue when one of the partners doesn't value one that is really yours, so let's just say if it's like, oh, like that's not a problem or whatever, like it just depends on how motivated they are to do it, like if they're not motivated and they're like, oh, I think that's stupid, then it's like, okay, it's just never gonna work, because you're not gonna change, or I mean, you can suppress it, that's your thing, but at the end of the day, it's just you're gonna blow,
Wait,
and you're not gonna be satisfied.
What's your love language, Chanel?
Words of affirmation and
No, like you only get one.
And no,
if you had to pick
and
if you had to pick one and you couldn't pick another one, what would it be?
it would have to be words of affirmation and acts of service.
Okay, so words of affirmation then, right?
Both. Yeah, it would, and it would have to be like for me. If you're not doing that, then like I'm going to seek that, or I'm gonna get that else, or I'm not even saying like. I feel like for me, if you're not going to do that, then when I do get it elsewhere, it's gonna hit harder, and it's gonna be like, okay, like, why isn't my man doing this? Why isn't my man like pumping me up or like telling me, I'm this and I'm that? Like when random people see it, or like if I'm at work and then like my like a parent, like a parent comes to pick up their child and they're like, you're so appreciated. Like literally, that happens every day. This one mom, she picked up her child. And she's like, just know that you're appreciated. And then she walks out the door. And I'm like, and if my man isn't saying that, it's a problem.
Well, let's say your man is a super duper on point with the words of affirmation. Like you never met another person that does that so well. But the acts of service is lacking, right? But then there's another dude that he's like in the middle. He has a little bit of both. Which one are you going with?
I would say maybe in the middle. In the middle, for sure, yeah. Because I had someone that was all acts of service, and then no words of affirmation at all. Like would never compliment me. Like,
but
would
that's
never,
an easy one though. Like let's say it was the other way around. Amazing at words of because that's your number one.
Yeah. So what do you mean? So if they were what?
Like his words of affirmation was like through the roof. He just always had you glowing because of how he's talking to you. But not so much on the acts of service. But the other dude,
Well,
not
no,
his affirmations are not like crazy good. It's just he has a decent amount of both of them.
Yeah, I would want the decent amount of both of them versus someone better at just one.
We didn't go around the room and ask everyone's words of affirmation, did we? You said yours was Michelle.
So my top two, the first one is quality time, and then the second one is acts of service.
Is this like a theme where everyone gets to
Yes.
pick two in the book or something?
Well, they kind
Yeah,
of
because it's
intertwine,
not
like
gonna
you
work.
said.
Yeah,
They
with just
intertwine. They
one.
roll
Yeah.
together.
Okay. Well, I don't even know them all, but I know physical touch is mine. What about yours?
Also, so I did want to point
Every
out
guy.
last week when we were talking about this, and I said physical touch is not like
Right,
intimacy.
right.
It is.
Right.
it
Yes,
is-
completely
yeah,
different.
Yeah.
It is. It
It's
is
completely
about like
different.
it's sex, hand holding, like
It's all
touching,
that.
cuddling. It's all
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I just wanted to.
Yep, I'm all for it, guys. Darnell?
Mine is physical touch. You know, because
Every guy's is physical touch.
No, but so let me
I was just about to say that.
let me
But
explain.
I know
Every
why
guy.
though. I took a class on it and I know why.
Okay, let me
So
hear.
go ahead.
Okay,
No, let
PhD,
me
tell
hear.
us.
Okay, so let me tell you. So this is what now this is from a professor, okay? So she said that every man is physical touch because a woman, she gets, throughout her day, she gets some type of physical touch
Compliments.
for the most part. And men, they do
Yeah.
not ever touch each other. A man that is single and that, let's just say, is not dating, or in the dating like pool, then they may not get touched like maybe even for that full month. And so, but a woman, she'll get hugs. Like if she goes to see her sister, her mom, she'll get a hug. If she
Yeah.
work, like for me, I work with children, like, you know, at my preschool, then like I'm getting hugs, I'm getting kisses literally like on the hour, every hour, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get that fulfillment, like,
Okay,
as
that's
far as like, I may not need to be touched.
But we
So-
do the bro
so-
hugs and stuff though, the handshake, and you know.
Yeah, but sometimes, so that's what she said. Because at first I was thinking like that's just nasty. Like guys are just like trying to like, you know, like talk about sex or whatever. And she's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. She was just like,
Zero to
you know,
do
they
with
don't get
sex.
that fulfillment.
Look, but that's in the classroom setting. I'm gonna say from like a guy's perspective, like real world. If a girl is not willing to not necessarily sleep with me, but kiss me, right? That gives me an indication that she's not into me. And the biggest thing that I'm looking for is that this girl's willing to walk on fire for me. So for me to lean in and try to give her a kiss, or like, you know, a month in and like we're still not whatever getting physical, then that shows me, oh, she may be playing the front right now just to get whatever, I don't know what game this is for her.
On what date? On what number date are you expecting a kid?
You know,
No,
he's
but
NASCAR
the-
over here, so it's fast.
The point is that's why I feel like physical touch is important for most guys, because we want to vet the girl out, right? We want to see how into us she is, and if she's not willing to give me a kiss, you know, that means she wasn't really feeling me.
That's
So,
not true.
I'm
I don't
gonna
think so.
disagree with
that,
you
that
on
does
that.
not mean that
I'ma
at all.
disagree
I
with you on that.
disagree.
Okay, go
You're
ahead,
wrong.
Khadija.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I disagree because I don't think someone needs to touch you in order for you to know they're into you or not.
Exactly.
It has nothing to
Amen.
do.
Okay, that's what you think, but I'm saying what I think, so we're just opposing right
No.
No,
now.
I think
But
that's.
I
Nope.
know. Can I?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
No,
Chanel.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Khadija, you can finish, and then I'll go.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, speaking personally as a woman, I think I shared this with you like last time. Like, so I was a virgin until I was 25 years old. Okay, so it's like I was really not like doing much before then, you know. And so like kissing was like kind of more like important, I guess, or like I'm not saying I wouldn't kiss anyone that I was dating, but it's just like it may not have been on the first date, you know. Or, you know, it literally wasn't actually. That was like my thing. I was like, no, I'm not gonna kiss a guy on the first date, like, you know, whatever. And so, so yeah, but I did like a guy. So it's like for me, it was really frustrating, especially on the later end of like, especially like in my 20s, you know, when I was dating. And then I remember like a man like, oh, you know, you don't want to, you know, be intimate, so you don't like me. And I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, like you're literally like my crush, you know, like it was so crazy how it happened. Like it was literally this guy that I loved his show, and then we started like dating briefly, and so because we met in Hollywood, and so I'm like literally thinking, okay, I used to watch your show all the time, and then now I'm sitting in front of you, so there's no way you could tell me I don't like you, like literally. Like, ask my family members. You know what I'm saying? But it's like he just wouldn't
Were you attracted
take
to
it
him
serious.
though?
Absolutely, he was my crush before I even met him.
I agree.
You get what
with,
I'm saying?
I agree with Chanel and Khadijah, but I think that at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter because that's what your love language is. And so, like at the end of the day, like that's how you communicate, right? And it could also be, or not communicate, but that's how you recognize love. But it also could go back to like when you were a kid, right? Like, were your parents very like affectionate with you? Like, did they hug you and kiss you and like and gave you physical touch? Like, so that could just be like how you gauge if someone loves you, if they care for you, if they're like filling your love tank or not.
Okay, no, that's true. But
Yeah,
I also
that's
want to say this though. Okay, so we're talking about why most guys love
So
language.
I'm going to tell you just mine's flat out. Is even if I go on a date with somebody and we go out, even though mine is physical touch, right? 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to touch you that first date, maybe not
What?
the second date.
You're not gonna try to like cop a feel and
No.
Let the girl come to you. Let
Thank
the girl
you.
come to
Thank
you with
you.
that.
So my thing is, because what happens is you don't know her level of comfort, you don't know what she's been through, you don't know what she's experienced, right? So if
Yeah.
you come in all hot and you want to rub her back and all this, she gonna look at you like you're a creep in
no,
your hands.
not rubber back.
Yeah.
But I always go for some kind of touch. I'm always gonna go for like the elbow real quick, just a slight brush
That's the same.
to
but
see
that's-
how she
but
feels
that's
about
the same
that.
thing, though, right? So and then you'll end up where she may have been in a situation where
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah,
grabbed her, roped her, and now
exactly.
she wants to jump away.
Mhm.
That doesn't
So-
mean that she's
Yeah.
not into you.
Exactly. So it's not always
Yeah.
about you. I think it has more to do
Exactly,
with the person themselves
exactly.
and what
Our
they've
path.
gone through
So,
and their experience.
exactly.
So you're not physical touch then. That's not your love language.
It's
And-
not my first love
okay,
language.
so-
No, I think it's acts of service.
Okay. So what do you do when you know that the guy's love language is physical touch? Like he's not trying to sleep with you, but he's like he like does like a light shoulder brush or like a light knee brush or something just to kind of how do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think that's something that you like. You don't go on a first date thinking about, okay, well, I know his love language is physical touch, so I'm gonna touch him. I don't think that's like a
No, but if his is
yeah.
if that's his love language and he
But
does that,
she
how do
probably
you
won't
respond
know
to
that
it?
in the
She's saying
beginning,
She
though.
doesn't
Yeah, that's
know
what it
that.
is. Yeah.
Does not know that on
She
the
doesn't
first
know
date.
that on the first date. That's not a conversation that you have on
Yeah,
the first date.
exactly.
Well, it's not a conversation, but if I'm on a date with you, rest assured I'm gonna try to
This
make
is the
some
first date
kind of
you're saying.
yeah, totally.
No, but
Creeper.
You never meet
there's,
up with
like-
someone and give them a hug on like initiating the like meetup.
I
Like
don't think we did.
Can I tell you something?
I
No,
don't
but
think we
also,
touched each other.
Like, also, there are girls that will do anything. There's some girls out there that will do anything for a free meal. So whether that's like giving you a hug, a kiss, touching you anywhere.
As long as they
It
get that
has-
free meal to post on Instagram.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So how do you know
exactly.
they're genuinely interested in you and are feeling you then? Like how do you distinguish the two?
I'm just saying, like on a first date, usually there's some kind of touch involved.
It'll
Something.
be a handshake or something. You may even give her like a little side hug or something like that.
That's what I
but-
mean. Something.
But
Yeah, I think
that
the hug
doesn't
is okay
constitute
at the beginning and at the
as
end.
physical touch as in a relationship.
Exactly.
You know, and for me, it's like you could be sitting there. I can be on one end of the couch. You could be on the other end of the couch, but our legs may cross. You know, there's some form of touching.
Oh,
That's
my legs
not,
are crossing on purpose. That's not an accident.
It's not
That's what I
something
asked
that
her
that will be
Yeah, it's so-
sexual. You know what I mean? It's something where you're walking and maybe you're holding pinkies or you're holding hands or whatever. It doesn't have to be the full-on PDA display.
Okay, I just want to say this, okay? This is maybe a misconception among a lot of guys, but I feel like if I go to touch her hand or something and she moves away like this, bro, I'm done. Like the
But you don't
date's-
know what
the-
she's been
No,
through.
no, but
Yeah.
listen, this is what I'm saying. I don't care. Like that's not how I go into the date. And
Selfish.
that's why this podcast, that's why we're having this. So we're saying that if a girl, and Chanel said she was super into the guy, right? But he wasn't getting that physical touch. And in his mind, he's like, this girl's not into me. Like, so, but that's not the case. But I think y'all are lying and I don't believe it. But please convince me more so that if I go on a date with a girl and I do light touch, if I try to like touch her hand or something like that, that doesn't
I'll
necessarily
give
mean
you a
she's
prime
not
example.
into me.
Nope, I'm finna give you a prime example.
Well,
because-
Khadijah was gonna say something. I kind of want to hear what she has to say too. I'm
will-
on a date with you, okay? I'm on a
Okay, I
first
will
date,
be
and I
honest
and I
here.
go like to touch you, and then you move away. In my mind, I'm interpreting you're not into me. I'm done with this. But you're saying like if you really like the guy, that's not the case.
I think for some girls, they've been through enough first kisses on dates that like they don't prioritize that anymore. It's more so like an emotional connection for them, right? So I don't go into a date thinking, okay, I'm gonna hug him, kiss him, do whatever if I feel
I didn't even
him.
say kiss though. Like, yeah, I get that part, but what about as little as a brush or a touch or something?
Mid said,
why
let's forget all the
can't, like-
foreplay and just get straight to it.
No, I'm serious about this.
But
I'm
what
really
if
trying to
okay, but
understand
what if
this.
there's an emotional connection there? Do you still seek that like touch or whatever kind of?
The emotional connection is super important. I'm all about that. Like, that's the reason I'm out on the date with you, right? But if I go to touch your hand and you're not comfortable and you pull away, that gives me a sign that like I'm not into this guy.
It just takes some people longer to get there than others, right? Like no one's ever gonna be at the
That
same
does-
pace as
exactly.
you.
That doesn't necessarily mean that she's not into you.
Exactly.
Okay.
It might take me 3 dates before I hug you.
You let me
or-
brush your knee.
Yeah.
It's a really low investment.
also-
It really
now
feel
you're
like
all,
that.
you went from the elbow to the knee, bro. Which one is it?
Those are the two best places. Like, just like a light brush, just
And that's
to see,
exactly
just
what
to feel her
creepers
out.
do. A creeper will start at a woman's
Yeah.
knee and then work his way up her thigh.
You lying, bro.
We have
Yeah.
4 women here. Any
You,
one of you
I
can
can't
speak
believe
to
I
this.
can't believe you just said that, Darnell. That's what a creeper does, right? So a dude that, let's say the girl's love language is touch. No, that's not what a creeper does. A creeper's gonna go and grab her ass or something like
Have
that.
you been on a date? Have you been on a date with a creeper? Because that they don't come out all blunt like that. They start off nice and slow, and then next thing you know, you're either, other things are happening.
Yeah.
No, I
right?
haven't,
So
but
they
it
don't
sounds like
start
you
off
have,
like
and that's
that.
not good judgment to be going out with creepers like
You
that.
don't find
I
out
feel
they're a
like I
creeper
don't.
until later on.
You
Just
don't
like you
find
don't
out
find out that a
until-
woman is
you
crazy
don't
until
find out
later on.
What
until
is the
later.
definition of creeper? Because me brushing a girl's shoulder or knee, I don't really identify that as a creeper.
It's
Ladies?
context.
Because you're not a woman.
It's
Because
context.
you're not a
Ladies?
woman.
Can you answer his question, please?
It's
Yeah.
sheer context. Like if I'm out and, pre this context, pre this, if I'm out and we're just kind of vibing across the room, we make eye contact, things are chilling, you come over, brush my shoulder at the bar, fair game. Maybe I'll turn around, we'll have a conversation. But if I have not made eye contact with you, I have no idea who you are.
We're talking about a first date, though.
First date, I mean,
Like you accepted the date with this guy.
bro, there's been many first dates where I did not let the guy touch me because the vibe was just off.
Why didn't you let him touch you?
Because the vibe was off.
He gets it. The vibe was off.
Yeah.
You just have to vibe check everyone. But I mean, I'll out us. Our first date took forever. Like we had the world's longest first date. Like we went to the gym together and it was supposed to be all cute. Like, oh, let's go to the gym. And we started like at 5?
Yeah.
We were lifting from like 5 to 8.
5 in the morning or 5 in the evening?
5
Oh, okay.
5 p.m. to like
Okay.
8 p.m. We
Oh,
were
you playing
lifting.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
And then afterwards we went out to
Got her.
eat.
I was just about to say
Yeah.
he got you all worked up,
Yeah.
tired, got you hungry. Hey, look,
Got
now that we
hungry.
had this date, yeah.
And then what? We went to eat.
Yeah, went to eat.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
No, it wasn't even like that. We went to eat and then we hung out in the parking lot of a sus taco place
Did you
Nice.
touch?
until
True.
1:30 in the morning.
Did you touch on
That's
her
what's
first date?
up.
Did
Wait.
not.
You didn't
See,
even like lay a
my man.
finger.
First couple dates, I didn't even touch her.
Is that because that's how
Nice.
I
you
love
are,
that.
or
Nice.
you
That's
didn't get
what's
the
up.
vibe yet?
It's love
So,
language.
I'm gonna talk on that. So
Yeah.
I see both sides. So before I was like, like him, I would be like, oh yeah, first mind thought on the date. She doesn't touch me, I don't touch. She doesn't touch me, I don't see a connection. But now I think it's like a maturity thing
Right.
to where
Pretty mature
it's
for a
like I didn't-
22-year-old.
growing up.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But it's like a maturity thing to where now it's like, if it happens, it happens. It doesn't, it doesn't. Like I'm not gonna touch
There it
someone on
is.
the first date. Like it took us probably
Should
6
be
dates
natural,
or so,
right? It should
give
be
or take.
natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like then again, but going back on like what you were saying about like the whole traumatic thing, like you don't know what someone's
Yeah.
been through. So like it just really depends on the person. You just vibe out with it, see what happens.
Exactly. It's all about the vibe check, man.
But I
To be
also
honest,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I also think chemistry is felt. Felt, not always like it's emotionally felt. If that makes sense, then
Definitely.
like right off the bat if you have chemistry with someone or not. They don't even need to touch you.
Well, that's how
Like,
I
but
gauge
that's
the
like-
chemistry. I'm like,
You normally
And then I'm like,
get the
oh, she's
chemistry
not
in the
trying
first
to-
conversation, whether it's on the phone or whatever.
no, look, you
Is it
don't
about
always.
to go out?
What? No,
Is it
you got
about
like
to go
10
out?
minutes, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so no, look, the thing is chemistry's felt, right? So that's how I gauge the chemistry. I'm like, okay, if she's not even comfortable with me brushing her hand, now we're on the hand, right?
So we don't went
That
from the
gives
elbow
me
to
an
the knee
idea
to
that
the hand. Okay.
so like you're saying that okay, let's say if me and you were out, right? And I you're not expecting me to make any physical contact. Like that you're not expecting that at
No.
all to build chemistry.
Yeah, I think that's totally
Your
normal.
word.
You don't build chemistry by touching
You
somebody.
don't.
man.
Bro, you don't have to
You
answer
catch
for
a case.
her.
I'm just
lis-
telling you, you catch a case.
I haven't caught a case yet.
That's because they're afraid to report you right now.
Look, man, y'all are making it like way out of proportion. I think that, I get what you guys are saying. I get what Khadijah's saying. She's saying that's not her love language, right? That's not for me to,
I don't
So what
think
if a guy
love-
doesn't kiss you for like 2 months? Then how do you feel
But
about
that's
that?
different than your a first date versus 2 months in. That's completely different.
Right.
2 months in, of course, you're expecting something.
And I
But
feel
like
like
right off the bat, I think you're meeting someone for the first time ever. Mind you, like this is the first time you're ever meeting someone.
well, it's a first date, so you met them before.
Man, you trying to slip her the
No,
tongue
you don't-
already.
What do you mean? You could meet someone for the first time ever on a first date.
Oh, I forget
Yeah.
people do online dating.
Tinder and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's how people date nowadays.
They have a
majority
lot of those
them.
conversations, get them out the way before they get together and meet.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
And so
I get what you guys
You
are saying.
know,
You're saying
if
that's
you're-
not the girl's love language, so that's not necessarily how she builds chemistry.
I just
It's not
think-
even the love language
Yeah.
thing. It's about the safety thing. It's about we don't know
Yes.
the person. We can
Yeah.
really like you and be turned on by you and attracted by you, but it's like we still need to know you because we don't trust you yet.
Exactly.
And with time comes trust. And so
Yeah.
with like shared experiences, like okay, cool, like we're hanging out. Like for instance, that's like the same thing as like okay, I may like you, I may really like you, but I don't want to give you my address. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like on the first date.
Okay, but
you
y'all
know?
are
So it's
acting like touching a girl on the hand is like this crazy.
No, I'm finna
Oh,
tell you
we
something.
just lost Chanel, by the
I'm
way.
finna tell you something crazy, bro. Check this out. I talking to this lady a long time ago, right? We went out on a couple of dates, and then she wanted, to go back to her place. I'm like, all right, cool. That it's winter time, right? We get to her place. She opens up every window in her place, right? And I laughed because I knew exactly what she was doing. She felt comfortable with inviting me to her place, but she still didn't know me, so she wanted to be safe. So she figured I'm gonna open up all my windows
Yeah.
so someone will hear me scream if he's a creeper.
Why you make her feel like that she had to open up all the
Hey, man,
windows,
I
bro?
didn't
not
make her
just
feel
him.
I didn't
Yeah,
make
it's
her
not just
feel that
him.
way. It's that experience, man.
yeah.
Until you get
Yeah.
to understand and know
Yeah.
and trust somebody,
Exactly.
you want to feel safe. And people will invite people into their space,
Yeah.
even if they're not completely safe, but they're going off the hopes and the dreams that they can feel safe with you. But I'm gonna take all these precautions. I'm gonna open up all these doors. I hit all the knives and make sure that somebody can hear them scream if something happens.
I mean,
Okay.
I can argue this from a completely different angle. Let's talk intimacy, right?
Mhm.
I feel like women, we can build intimacy in all the love languages. We don't rely on physical touch.
Right.
But for men, because they don't have the same amount of opportunities to have physical touch, their instant intimacy is built upon that love language. So it's the quickest way for them to feel wanted, to feel loved, to feel welcomed. It's going to be the physical touch because it bypasses everything else, because they can get a bit of everything else, but with physical touch, because you're not getting like the hugs and you're not getting like the full intimate like experience, that's the quickest way you'll feel with a partner. Because
Right.
let's be honest, a bro side hug is very different than like an embrace from a family member, from a partner, from like a close friend.
It
Like
all
those
it all
it's
depends though,
intimacy.
because you can touch somebody
Yeah.
and not feel anything,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Somebody can be hugging. They could have given you 30 hugs
Yeah.
and you didn't feel anything out of
Exactly.
every last one of those hugs.
Yeah.
But then when that level of intimacy changes, right? That feeling, that passion changes. That next hug feels
Yeah.
Different.
Exactly.
Agreed.
that next touch feels different, and that's what it comes down to, that just understanding the difference between, hey man, I'm gonna give you a high five, I'm gonna slap your hand, all right man, we're cool, or I'm gonna dap you up. It has a different level of intimacy to it, That's why you see some guys will shake a man's hand, they'll pound him, but then the other guy that they're really, really cool with, he's going to give him the bro hug because that's his bro. Same difference.
Okay, so kind of to get back to the whole root of this question is that my love language is physical touch. So I'll go on a date and I'll try to brush a shoulder, and that's how I'll gauge
He ain't gonna try.
intimacy,
He
right?
gonna touch you. He gonna touch you.
And it's not in a creepy way. Like y'all are
elbow me.
misconstruing this. Like a light touch, like a light brush. That's totally, you know, like I feel like acceptable and appropriate. I'm not trying to like put my arm around you or something that's like too much. But that doesn't necessarily mean like Khadija, if I'm on a date with her or whatever, that doesn't mean that that's the way she builds chemistry. She might build chemistry with, what was yours again?
Acts of service.
So if acts of service.
Oh, you gotta serve some stuff up, bro.
If I open the door for you,
Yeah.
then that might be a better chemistry builder with you rather than a light
Exactly.
brush. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was yours, Michelle?
Quality time.
So like I don't necessarily need to like brush your hand to see if you pull away or not to see if there's chemistry there.
No, but I think that it's fair. I feel like that's just your vibe check, right?
That's,
Yeah.
I was
And-
gonna say that's how you gauge interest.
Yeah.
Everyone vibe
and
checks
that's
differently.
that's fair. 100%.
But you know, in like the animal kingdom, that's how a lot of animals do too. Like
Yeah, they brush up against each other.
they do the smell test. You know,
Men
like oh, you
are
cool or you
animals.
not?
I mean, your instincts are.
Primal.
Yeah, I'm very
Primal.
animalistic. Rawr.
No, but I think that's completely fair, right? But I think it just goes back to like knowing what someone's like love language is. Yes, obviously, like on the first date, like I don't want someone like sticking their tongue down my throat, or maybe I do towards the end of the day. Like maybe we like vibed and we had such a great time and the chemistry was like on, and I'm like, all right, cool, down to kiss this guy. Or it could be the total opposite, and I'm like, not really into it. It just depends.
Goes to that coffee date.
Coffee date
Yeah,
Coffee or that
all
gym
day.
date all day.
all day.
Hey, we just worked out. I know you worked up an appetite. We can go over here and get this smoothie.
And that's how I got him. I got him by eating a burrito in the middle of the night for
See?
4 hours. I was
4
over there
hours.
just eating. Yeah.
Nice.
We went from
I like how you said that's how I got him and not the other way around.
Yeah.
That's how he got me. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, I think girls should chase guys more. Like, I don't understand.
I-
Yeah, go ahead.
I think when, at least for me, when I've tried being the initiator, for some guys it's a little too aggressive. And
I
so-
agree.
Guys
I
don't
don't.
like a woman-
I
a
don't
woman
like.
like that.
Exactly.
I don't like
I
when a
don't-
girl hits on me, but I like when I like to make the first move. I feel like it's the guy's job to make the first move, but I don't want to be chasing you after that forever. Like you got to show me that this is what you want. So that's what I meant. Not like first move. Like if I don't know you, I want to make the first move.
So if a woman walked up to you in the gym the way you do women in the gym,
I don't think I would appreciate that, no.
why not?
Because I like to be the chooser. I'd be like,
But
oh,
what if she chose you?
She could be super ugly and she could choose me and not just wouldn't vibe with that. So like I go for what I like.
But what if she was your type and she still approached you?
That might be more endearing, but
Might be. Bruh, come on.
when was the last time that happened? Come on. Girls don't do that often.
Well, I know most guys. I'm sorry. It's like most guys prefer to be more dominant in that sense,
Yeah.
so that's why some people
Exactly.
prefer that.
Yeah,
Girls
like
don't
the
walk up to the guy.
I mean,
But,
okay,
like, me
then who
personally-
chose
Women
who?
send you
Did I
several
choose you or did you
signals.
choose me?
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because we're together.
Nice
So that's just how I
recovery,
see
bro.
it personally.
Nice
yeah,
recovery.
she asked one of those
She
questions
set
like,
you up.
did you lie to me then or did you lie to me now?
Yeah.
There's no right answer
Yeah,
for that.
she set you up for that one.
Was there any chase between you guys? Like,
There was. I mean, originally before we had our first, she actually. I talked to her. I'm like, hey, do you like these so and so? Because that's how we got together. And
Wait, how did you guys meet?
Go ahead.
through my work, she was actually a customer. And look on your face, but she was a customer, which I know it's a dangerous
Okay.
path.
That is a
And
very dangerous
yeah,
path.
she found me on Instagram. Still don't know how. Just
Oh,
popped up.
she was your.
Then
Oh,
she
and then
stalked
she.
you.
so
Okay.
Instagram recommended his account.
And then
And
I
I
hit
was
her
like,
up
oh, I
first.
know this guy. Followed him. And then he
Recommended,
sent-
really?
Who you slid into them DMs,
Yeah,
huh?
he slid into the DMs.
So I
first.
actually asked her like, hey, you want to go on a gym or not gym date?
Wait, but did she follow you first?
She did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the first follow. He did the first DM.
So I didn't ask for her IG. It just
Oh.
happened like
So
maybe
you
a couple
just
days
kind of
later.
lurked around hers first.
Well, I just followed. I saw her followers. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna follow real quick.
Okay.
So what was the progression after that?
Well, I mean, I asked her. I'm like maybe that same day. I'm like, hey, you want to hit the gym sometime? She ignored me for like a week. That's basically how it went. And then I asked the second time, like, hey, I don't know if you saw my message.
Wait. I gotta stop you. Why did you follow this man just to ignore him for a week?
I didn't ignore him. I kind of like postponed saying yes to the gym.
That's
So,
kind of the definition of ignoring.
I was kind of vibe checking him because I'm like, I really don't know him.
Okay.
Wasn't
And,
the
like-
vibe
But
check
you followed
initially?
him though.
I did.
You like stalked his IG and
Yeah.
ran through all of his
because I was
likes
a
and
customer and I
dislikes.
really
and-
wanted the donuts.
Okay.
I really want to know what product was in stock, and they have rotating stock.
So it was just about the products. It wasn't about him.
We had good conversation, but it was kind of both.
I know, yeah, it was like
yeah, it
interrupting,
was
but, like,
friendly.
In store, I know most people are like, oh, customer service mode is on. That's always how it is. The
Right.
real doesn't always come out.
Totally.
Me, I'm always straight up. I don't care what I say. Like, I'll be straight. I'll be straight up with like
My type of
customers,
guy.
with people in general. Like, I'll tell you what you want to hear, like straight up. Like, I'll tell you straight up about a product,
Mhm.
and if you don't like, to
Wait,
hear
will
it,
you
like,
be straight up or will you tell them what they want to hear? There's a difference. Because
Depends on their vibe. If they want to be told, because then again, it's all customer service. I
Right.
can't tell someone like, hey, you cannot take this product because of this. Then I'm just not doing my job. But if I tell someone, hey, I know this
Oh,
product
so
is
you gonna sell
BS.
somebody something they really don't want, huh?
Well, actually, no, I'm gonna take that back. But
No, but we're talking about in the sense of dating. Did you tell her what she wanted to hear or?
no, I mean, I'm always straight up. Yeah. I was
It's
like,
annoying
hey, you want to hit the
sometimes.
gym? Nope. All right.
Oh,
Hit it,
okay.
ignore
So
it, hit the
back
gym again.
back to you met her and then you asked her out. She ignored you for a week. I still don't get that.
We
like
were
I'm.
we were still talking. Like we were just like having
Oh,
like,
she ignored the
conversation.
request for the date for a
I-
I think
week.
she skipped over it.
I
That's what it
skipped
was.
over it.
Okay, there's
Question.
someone in the chat right now. I want to put her on blast. She did that to me too. Like we had good chemistry. I asked her for the date, and then she skipped over the question, but she kept texting me and kept pursuing like contact. But then I was like, "Yo, did you?" We're dyslexic for a second. So you skipped over the request. Why did you do that?
Yes. We still really didn't know each other. So like we knew each other from like a friendly basis, but it was just like very casual. So yes, I kind of ignored the request to begin with, but that's because we took the time to like dig a little bit further in our conversation. It's like, who are you as a person? Like, is it worth my like time? Do I want to share my holy place? Because like, let's be honest, when I go to the gym, I'm there to go to the gym.
No,
Like,
so
I'm
that's
not-
your holy place, the gym.
That's
huh?
the holy place. Like, do I
Okay.
want to invite him
Alright.
into my holy place? Like, am I ready to like share all that with him?
That's
Because
fair.
it's an investment, you know?
I
Like, I don't
definitely
want to
like
waste my
that idea.
time. I don't want to waste my workout. So once it got to the point where I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of cool. then,
Okay, but
like,
how did you feel? Like I know what the girls. Okay, I get it. But how did you feel though?
Well, honestly, I was
don't-
like, I see what she's talking about. Like, we didn't really know each other. So I was like, all right, maybe she's just trying to get a feel for it, which I was right. I understand where she was trying to go because I was doing the same thing.
But weren't you thinking in your head like this is how I'm gonna get to know you instead of sit here and text you for like a week?
Yeah, yes and no. It was just more, like still again feeling someone out. Like I'm not gonna ask someone straight up, hey, you want to go on a first date? Just like some
I
people-
don't get this. Why would people want to sit there and text for 2 weeks when you could just like meet with them and then like you can know more in person in
Yeah.
5 minutes than like 2 weeks of texting because there's so much you could hide,
Mhm.
emotions and like facial expressions. Well, okay, you're saying like tell me
No,
what you
no,
think
I
about
agree
that.
with you. I'm not I
A
rather
serial texter.
yeah, at all. Like I rather meet up in person and feel you out than like
And you can know in like 5 minutes, literally, right?
Exactly.
Look
I don't want to
into your
spend
eyes
2,
and
3
see if you're telling
weeks
the
just
truth.
texting you. So I'm a much more like in person.
Okay,
No,
so
I'm not saying we're
okay.
right, but I'm saying he was the patient one because he allowed
Sometimes
this
it
like
requires patience.
yeah, he allowed me to kind of just pull my bullshit and it worked.
Okay, so you seem like the person who needs time of texting to go out with someone. Michelle, you.
So I was gonna say it could have been just like an issue where he suggested a gym date, but really maybe she just wanted a smoothie date, right? Or like a coffee date.
Mm.
So like she's saying like, hey, didn't really want to work out with him, don't know you, don't know what you're working out, like don't know like it's so awkward, right? Like you're making these ugly faces, you're lifting, like you're doing cardio, like you're running, like you're
Nailed it.
sweating, you
Yeah.
stink. Like
That's a
why would
different.
you-
That's different though. That's like not a good date
That's
idea.
actually
We're
not
but
that
we're
good.
talking about like would you rather see them for like coffee right away or text them for 2 or a week or whatever?
I'm not texting anybody for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
I'm not doing it.
But see, that was the issue. He said, "Let's go to the gym," and I'm
Yeah,
like, "No."
that's what, yeah, and she
Yeah.
probably could have just been like, "Hey, listen, not really into the gym, but would prefer X,
So
Y,
that's what I
Z."
was gonna say. Would you have taken a coffee or tea
Yeah.
date?
Yeah,
or
that's a good question.
Smoothie
probably.
or something?
Yeah.
No, don't say probably because
No,
everyone.
keep it 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I
be-
probably would because
Okay.
I've been on numerous coffee dates because it's
Over in
I-
20, 30 minutes if you
Right.
don't like it.
yeah. 'cause
Okay,
you could
well,
screen your food out.
Moro on the chat. I asked her to something like dinner or something like, or like lunch or something like, and she still skipped over the question. So I don't really I don't buy that. And I get where you're coming from. Like for
Phone
you,
calls are better.
the-
Okay. I hate phone calls. Okay, so recently, sorry to interrupt, but recently, guys have been asking me to FaceTime before meeting up.
Whoa.
And
So awkward.
it's so awkward, right? Like if you're not a friend,
It's like
a
an
family
invasion of
member, like
privacy,
I
right?
am not going to FaceTime you for the first time ever
No.
before I meet up with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
No, you have to make an appointment to FaceTime me. Like, don't ever FaceTime me out of the blue, or like, it's just I'm not picking up unless it's my best friend.
Yeah.
like that's
and
it.
we all know why girls do that.
Because I
Why?
have a
Do
5
what?
head.
Because they need to look all cute and stuff. Like you could
but
FaceTime a
like-
dude and he'll just answer.
That's not
No,
true.
It's not true.
But no,
I'll
no.
ignore that shit.
No.
I'll be like, why are you FaceTiming me?
Looking at it. Yeah.
I don't ignore them. I'll usually answer it. But
Oh, you'll be the
I
one
do
that
I do
won't
get
in
what
the
you're
camera,
saying.
right?
That's kind of a more intimate. That's like something that like you work up toward. You know, like you kind of gotta like. You don't FaceTime someone that you don't like. You don't
Yeah.
know if like you have that connection. Like if people FaceTime me and I answer, I say because like those are my boys. Like I know, I know them like that. You know, it's so I'll usually answer. But if like a random person that I just met, I get that.
Yeah.
So, but you would rather meet with someone in person right
Yeah,
away,
Totally. You save your time that way.
okay? And
Coffee or
you
tea.
Yeah,
would.
go on a walk. You don't even have to spend money. Go on a walk by the beach.
100%.
That's it.
Hey.
Yeah.
And I
Like-
still don't believe what you're saying because you showed the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You needed time, and that's fine. Like
She needed time
Moro-
to get to the gym, though. That was
See,
different.
she even said it. Some people need time, and I
Yeah.
sensed that right away after she skipped over that question. I was like, oh, this is one of those girls who needs like a lot of time to be able to. And now I think she's like, I'm not gonna say it, Moro. I'm not gonna say
Me
it.
personally, I think I also needed a little bit more time because the previous relationship I was in, I actually got cheated on. So I think I just didn't want to see her in person. Like I still played it out a little bit, obviously,
So,
but I just want to be sure her vibe was there
Hmm.
and was like, I guess, loyal in that sense.
how long in between that time before you started talking to her?
Oh, it was a bit. It was
3 months, 6 months?
more than I'd say 10 months.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
like I
you-
took my time.
You allowed yourself time to heal, forgive her, forgive yourself, and go through the whole
I
process.
forget. Hell no, I didn't forgive her. Because me personally, I don't have any forgiveness on cheating. Like some people, like some people will overcome that and like they won't be a cheater anymore. It's like at the end of the day, they still did it.
But yeah, the forgiveness isn't
not for
necessarily
them, it's
for
for
her.
you.
It's for
Oh.
you.
Yeah.
It's to help you through the healing
Well, then
process.
yes, that was obviously what I took my time on.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah,
like, I didn't
okay,
want to
okay.
jump into anything.
Right. And that makes sense.
Even throughout that, I wasn't really messing with anyone until like
Yeah.
she basically I did mess with one of my exes between that time frame, and that was a terrible mistake.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So you're kind of guilty too.
Yeah, so I think it was more of a rebound type thing.
Yeah.
Like
Jesus.
but this was like 6 months after,
Need to get one out real quick. It's all good.
basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They say
Highly
you get
regret
over
it.
someone,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
under someone.
Yeah,
You have to
Yeah.
make sure he was done.
That's
yeah.
what
Most accurate
that's a song,
saying
right?
ever.
Yeah.
The best way to get over somebody is to get under
Under
somebody
someone
else.
else.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you regret it later on.
Regret it
I
because
can't believe I just did that.
It works.
basically I'm just gonna go straight up into it because I really don't care about that chick anymore.
Yeah,
But it looks
dig her.
like because I was messing with her and I didn't know she had a boyfriend at the time, and I had no idea.
Okay.
And then she also was doing it with another dude.
Damn,
Yeah.
community.
Exactly. And then I looked over at her phone and I saw this, and I'm like, looked over at her phone and I saw this, and I'm like, I'm out.
Busybody.
And I actually texted hers, and she's like, she offered like because I was drinking at the time.
Oh, you was loaded.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
exactly.
be texting when you're loaded.
Your
Yeah,
true
you-
inhibitions.
Well, no, she's like, do you need a ride? And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Oh, you
yeah.
were willing to come
Yeah.
pick him up and be the
Yeah.
sober companion for him to cry on your shoulder.
I
But he
mean,
called you while he was drinking.
I didn't call him.
Well,
I
he
actually
was
texted him.
texting.
Same,
Yeah.
Same difference.
Because
Same
he was
difference.
like,
Because it'd come off all mumbo jumbo,
Yeah,
the
he was
words
like,
would
shit,
reverse.
But I told her
like,
straight
need
up.
help.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
how you
Shit-faced.
know, like he was really into you.
Definitely, because he thought of
he
you while
thought
he
of
was
you,
loaded.
Yeah.
Well, I told her straight up about the situation
no,
too.
I knew about
Drunk
the
mind,
situation.
sober thoughts.
Yeah. And I think it's because we got to know each other, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we
that's
kind of understood that, and
Huh.
he knew that like I didn't really have anyone on like my end, and you know that situation itself showed me that he was kind of done messing with anyone else because he was like, shit, I tried. Yeah, he was like, I tried this, didn't work out for me. I'm fucking drunk, sitting on the curb trying to sober up, and I was like, do you need a ride home? Like
Yes,
I will
please
help you
come
get out of
get
this
me, come
situation
rescue me.
if you
That's beautiful.
like, you know, you figured it out. So I think that was one of the more pivotal points where he was
What
like,
time in the
"Oh,
morning
shit."
was it?
Oh, this was like afternoon.
No, it
This
wasn't
was
In the middle of the day?
Yeah.
Would
No,
you
no.
still have come if it was 1 a.m.?
No, I think it was like 8 or 9 p.m. It wasn't
Yeah.
like
no.
it was
Still.
early, but not like
Yeah.
you know.
It was like I still remember. It was like still daylight. So it was probably like 6-ish.
No, you started drinking at daylight. When you texted me, it was like dark already. Yeah.
See,
I mean,
you were loaded, so you forgot
I
that the
drank-
sun went down.
I drank a lot of hard. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
So basically did that, and then I saw those texts, and I was like, "Fuck, I need to sober up."
Yeah, basically
Slipped
any
out.
unconventional meeting point and or milestone you can think of, we probably knocked it on our list. Like,
Yeah.
like I am not sure how we're still here, but we're still here, so we're going to keep going.
How long have you guys been together?
Shit. 2, little under 2,
Little under 2
little under 2
Months?
years.
years.
Weeks.
Oh.
Yeah,
Years.
no, I just met him 2 dates ago, and we're
Yeah.
here doing this podcast.
Nice.
Like,
Man,
he's-
that's
yeah.
you guys
fresh
sound
off
like
the
you've been together
sidewalk,
forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so that went off in a whirlwind, but I feel like there was a lot of good points that got brought up.
Definitely.
Like when you meet somebody, do you go out with them right away, or do you need time? That was one of the points, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I
Cat got
also-
your time. Go ahead.
No, I also think it's some people need a little more time in the beginning because they like the tension, the build up.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so
Moro's
guilty.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Sometimes that, like,
Shots fired.
yeah, that's what it is for me. Sometimes I just need a little tension build
So
up.
let me
before-
ask you this question about the tension buildup, because sometimes that can be an extreme letdown.
Yes.
Wait,
and
did you
I-
say tension or attention?
no
No,
tension?
Tension.
Oh.
And
You
It's
gotta
like
feel
the
it.
anticipation, the
Yeah.
waiting,
Kinda
the
want the
process.
chase,
You
yeah.
you
want
need
it.
something.
That's that
That-
endurance.
That's
you know.
actually true. I like that feeling too. So in that case, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's after you
But-
done went through that whole process, and then it's wah, wah,
Yeah,
wah.
that happens and it sucks.
Like damn. So why wouldn't you just want
I
to
went
like
through
get it
all
out of the
this
way
shit.
in the beginning instead of like have that build up and then just to be let down?
Because think about it like this:
Serial daters, I get it.
serial daters or just anybody, man, any type of situation. It's like Christmas morning as a kid, right? You know, you've seen all these presents getting wrapped and put underneath the tree, or you can smell mom in the kitchen getting down with that food that you can't wait to eat, but you can't have it right now. You got to wait for it, right? You're anticipating it, right?
Yeah,
Your
but
favorite meal. Just think about it. What's your favorite meal?
it's some Persian dish.
Doesn't matter. Just what is it?
Air it out.
You're not gonna understand
say
It
it.
doesn't
Air it
matter.
out.
Just come on, man. Say
Come
it.
on.
Khorosh Karafs.
Okay, so can you smell when somebody's cooking that?
Hell yeah, bro! From like 2 miles away.
So my point is, so you're 2 miles away, and you smell that being cooked in the oven or on top of the stove, right? You get to the house, right?
English, motherfucker!
Oh, this is definitely English. But you get there, and they're like, no, you have to wait. It's not ready yet, right? So now you're waiting. You're anticipating that plate, that bowl coming in front of you, right?
I'm actually thinking about it right now. I'm going to grandma's house.
That's
later.
my point. That's exactly my point. That anticipation, that build up, that excitement. So then you stick that fork, that spoon inside of you, you take that first bite. Savory.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see that point of view, but I ain't got that much time. Let me just meet you, realize that you're not the one.
But you're gonna wait for grandma to cook that dish though, right?
Yeah, I mean, grandma's dishes. is too-
That's the same difference that some people feel and want when they're dating or someone is, courting them or chasing, or you want to call it chasing. That's the same difference.
Yeah.
You want that anticipation, that build up. Man, I can't wait to sink my fork into this. Man, it's gonna taste so good. It's gonna be delicious, man. Oh my God, it's gonna hit the spot.
Bro, you're making me hungry. Stop it. All right. Love language questions. Let's just do one more love language one and then try to get on with the other questions too, because we had some good ones.
Yeah, there's some good questions.
I came up with those questions.
All right, so since we are going to choose,
The last one we kind of talked about.
yeah,
Do you think it's possible to miss it when someone uses their love language on you and you don't understand or recognize it? Yeah, that's totally possible with the whole touch thing that we had talked about earlier.
creeper.
Bro, y'all are just giving me the most shit for nobody wants to say this, but everyone's thinking it. Okay, so some of the other questions. Do you think, oh, you know what? I just thought of this because like these are like real life situations that I'll be like, oh dang, I bet you other people. Okay. Do you think as people mature, they wait longer to emotionally invest, or does investing have more to do with the person that they meet?
Say that again.
Do you think that as people mature, they wait longer to emotionally invest, or does it have more to do with the person they meet?
I think the older you get, the more you realize that like I don't have time for this shit.
Exactly. That's
Like, do we
exactly-
vibe? Do we
yeah.
not? Like, do I like you? Do you like me or not?
Mhm.
So
And
why,
I think,
so back to that question of like waiting to build up that tension, that goes out the window then, right?
I think it goes out the window, and I think that sometimes waiting can also like rule that person out too, to a certain extent, right? Like, I don't really want to wait 2 weeks to talk to someone or like meet
Mhm.
someone. I just want to know like if we have a connection and whether or not we're gonna vibe. I think that I kind of lost my train of thought here, but can you tell me the question again?
Like, does investing in somebody have more to do with maturing, or does it have to do with that person?
I think when you get older, you just don't want to play games anymore. Like, I've been through so many relationships. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. And I know when someone's BSing me, right? Like, I know that when I go on a date, I'm not sending my representative, right? And I want to look at someone in the eye and I want to know, are you sending your representative or not? Because I can look at you in your eye and know if you are. Because then, you know, maybe a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, like, you're not really the same person that you were. But I think you
Switched
can kind
up.
of gauge that. Yeah, but I think you can kind of gauge that on the first date, like whether or not it's like what we were talking about last time, whether or not like people want you to believe they're like a nice person, right? Like, I had a guy one time, I told you this, like, he kept asking, like, so am I a nice guy? Like, he would open the car door for me. Am I a nice guy? Do you think I'm a nice guy? And I'm like, listen,
He
dude, like,
was looking for confirmation in
looking-
everything that he did.
right, and everything, but like, it turned out that he wasn't a nice guy, and I peeped that from
He
the
was all
very
telling himself on the
beginning.
date, yo, be a nice guy, be a
Be
nice
a nice
guy.
guy. Be a nice guy. And like, he just wasn't a nice guy. So I think, like, yeah, I just want to get down to it. Like,
Why wasn't he a nice guy?
I mean, we need a whole other hour to talk about that, but
Was that just one date?
no, I realized over the course of time that he just wasn't a nice guy. Like, I know people like throw out the N-word narcissist, right? But like, he was like he was textbook like narcissist, like 100% like love bombing, like always trying to do like nice things, like overcompensating. Like, he was just so extra so soon. And I was like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden it just like stopped. He
I
just wasn't
normally
that
look
person
at
anymore.
situations where if you're doing a lot in the beginning, something's off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something
Okay,
is off.
okay,
yes,
but I want to hear your
completely.
opinion on the question at
Yeah.
hand. Do you think as people mature, they wait longer to emotionally invest, or does investing have more to do with the person that they meet?
I'm gonna say as you mature, you have zero time and patience for a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
And less runway
I know the runway is long as fuck.
for guys.
It's just long. But investing time and energy, right? You don't get that back. You know, so you look at the person that you're dealing with, the person that you're talking to, and people be like, oh, well, you know, and I look at it and I talk to people about wasting time. You hear it all the time. I'm not gonna waste my time with this guy. Like, yeah, but you're actually wasting time because you're having 10 different dates. That's a waste of time, and you didn't even give somebody the opportunity to invest.
So you're leaning toward it's the person.
It is the person,
Yeah.
but it also takes time as well, right? You know, like we said before, man, you know, when you know, you know. That first interaction, that first conversation, those first time those eyes lock, like you said, from across the room, you see it like, oh man, there's something about that vibe that that guy, that girl has going on or whatever, from whichever side. And you think about it. Okay, well, possibilities, right? You go down the list of possibilities. Oh, let's see what's going on. You take that time, you take that energy. Okay, well, it seems like we're having a good time. Then you want to see, you want to invest, right? You take that investment, you invest more time. Conversations on the phone, text, meeting,
But
going out.
have you, as you are growing up and getting through the years in your life, right? Are you seeing that now you are mature enough that you don't want to go through all of that wasting time? Or is it when you meet a person, now do you know right away, like, okay, this person is the one and that's why, or this person's not the one? Like, are you able to distinguish that quicker because of the person?
You
or-
come to a level of understanding of who that person is based off of the conversations that you have, right? That gives you a baseline. And then you see what they build off of that baseline. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like anything. You walk into it with a blank canvas, and I'm gonna give it to you to paint the portrait that you want me to see and understand and know, right? So when you do that, it allows, like we said before, I can sit here and tell you everything that I like in a woman, right?
2 hours later.
Exactly. 2 hours later. I can tell you everything that I like and love in a woman. And that woman will try to live up to everything that I just said because I gave her an expectation. I gave her what I want to see, right? Or I can say, you know what, paint me the portrait that you want me to see. Let me see who you are. Let me see the person you are. Let me understand you for you. And then I can make the determination if I want this in my life or not. And it's not a waste of time. It's a learning lesson, right? It's an investment that you invest, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. People be like, oh man, I wasted 2 years of my life. That's not true, because every moment that you were with that person for 2 years wasn't a bad one, unless it was, you know.
I don't agree with that. I think you tainted your brain for the
Nah,
special person that you were
nah,
supposed to meet.
You haven't tainted. So how do you know that that person is special if you haven't invested time in them?
I want to answer this question though.
Okay, go ahead. Let me hear it.
Okay, so I think as we get older, we see that we got less runway. So let me stop messing around so much and give this person the benefit of the doubt. Whereas like when you were younger, you're not gonna emotionally invest so soon because you feel like you got way more time. You got other options to explore. To answer it, I don't think it's about the person. I think it's about that person's own maturity in life. Khadija.
I think I see what you're saying, but I also think it really depends on the person, because there have been times where, it's like right person, wrong time, right? Where you might be 18 and you're not ready, but you've met like the love of your life. What do you do then? Do you
marry and stay a virgin until you meet them and happily ever after, like Disney?
Okay, so you stay with them, right? So you're investing in the person.
Right.
So I think you just contradicted yourself. It has less to do with maturity.
Ladies and
more to do-
gentlemen, we got him.
I think it's like goals. Some people just want to feel what's out there. They want to go on adventures. They want to try dating, meeting new people. And it's a lot of just short, kind of just progressions, right? You're meeting people, grabbing coffee, grabbing lunch, and it's like, oh, I kind of like them, but not really. Like, if you're not ready to settle and you don't want to settle, but you want to just continue meeting to maybe find someone that like vibes with you and can go on these adventures with you, that's very different than someone who already knows, like, I'm trying to find my life partner. I want to find someone that's my end goal.
Yeah.
And I think that leads where the conversations go. So you mentioned every date you have a blank canvas, right?
Right.
So if I'm on a date and the first conversations, it's very like, oh, the weather's great. How's airplane food? Who's playing the game tonight? You know, then I'm like, okay, we're not on the same vibes.
What's your favorite color?
blue?
No, I'm saying that's like one of those
Yeah,
questions.
no. It actually took me forever to figure out what my favorite color was. But yeah, if they're asking me just, the basic like icebreaker stuff, right? I've been through enough icebreakers. We've done them at school. We've done them at work. Like I
Two
hate
truths and a lie.
icebreakers.
Hate
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, hate icebreakers. So,
Which one was it?
Two
Two
truths
truths.
and a lie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Two
one of them.
lies and the truth. Tell me
Yeah.
which one is right.
Mm.
Y'all ever played Murder Mary
Oh,
Smash?
yeah.
That's a fun one though.
Smash,
Never heard of
Marry,
that
Kill.
one.
You never heard of
Never
it?
heard of that one.
Yeah,
Like you'll be
Smash,
on a
Marry,
first
Kill.
date and
Yeah.
like you'll or it doesn't have to be a first date, it could be anything, and you'll be like, yo, I'm gonna pick three
Yeah.
guys out of the crowd.
Oh.
They either have to be all handsome or all ugly, so it makes it fair.
Yeah.
And then you're like, which one would you murder? Which one would you marry? And which one would you smash?
Okay.
Anyways, okay, back to
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
Reza
but it's
now.
just like, icebreakers and stuff. It's just goals.
I'm gonna go back actually what on you were saying, but I think it's more maturity, but it was kind of the opposite of what you said. So like when I was younger, I just wanted to get right to the point.
When I was a young
Because
boy.
I know, still younger in general, but younger, like high school, I'm talking. I just want to get right to the point. It's like, oh, hey, 1 month in, we're dating. That's how it
Okay.
was. Now it's like, I'm gonna go actually to us. We were like talking everything for probably like 9-10 months before I finally asked
Nah,
her.
it was like
No,
6.
it was like 9 months before we actually.
Oh, okay, so I got a real question. What was the date that you guys actually said we're in a relationship?
The day after Pi Day, March 15th.
Yes.
I didn't
was
want you to
9 months
answer
in?
that one yet because I wanted to hear what he was going. Because you're like 6 months, he's like 9 months. Oh man, I was trying to get you.
No, it was March 15th.
It was that date we both know. I think it's like the date that we each would consider when we first started talking would be a little bit blurred because that initial time that we like met,
Right.
it's a little confusing because again, I was
You blew him off.
I was a
You
customer.
gave him the cold shoulder.
Like,
I get it.
He saw me as like customer service, so
But
like
he
the
looked
lines
at that
kind of
like that
blurred.
was the date that you guys first locked in, and
Yeah.
that date was
Yeah.
December 18th.
Yeah, but when did you guys talk about exclusivity? Like, when did you both say to each other, okay, like we're only dating each other?
I wouldn't say we ever talked
Yes,
about it.
thank you. That's what I was
It
just
was
gonna
more
say.
just
Yeah.
it happened.
It just happened.
Yeah.
So then that's when you guys really started dating, right? Like, but why? Like, and this is, I'm a lot older, right? So, like, in my mind, I'm thinking if I'm talking to a guy for 9 months, like, there's no way that, like, I'm saying, like, I'm a single person. Like, I'm hanging out with them. They're at my house. I'm cooking dinner. We're going to the pool together. We're doing all these things.
You're my man
that are,
now.
Like, no, like, you're my man. Like, we
Yes,
are
indeed.
together. Like, this is a thing. And so I feel like at some point, and maybe you don't have to have the like, oh, we're exclusive talk, right? But like, does that come with like the emotional, I guess, kind of like baggage that maybe like you brought into it, right? Like not wanting to commit too soon just because of like your ex. But at some point, like really, you were together before the 9 month like point,
Yeah.
right? It was just like working out these like things.
You started doing boyfriend girlfriend stuff, right? And that's how you knew.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like you don't cook with someone if
Yeah.
you're not, right?
No, we were definitely doing that like
Yeah.
early on.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I want to say like what
Like the second day after you
October?
guys
No,
rolled
no,
over
no.
and woke
It was
up.
like maybe like 2-3 months in
Yeah, for
after like
sure.
casual like dates
For
and
sure.
stuff. Then
Okay.
it kind of like merged into that like exclusivity, but we didn't like make it exclusive
Yeah.
to like way down.
I
the
know
line.
everyone has their own thing on like what you were saying, like, oh, it just happens.
Yeah.
But I know everyone has their own segment on like, oh, making it official. That's like kind of
Yeah.
what I'm basing it on.
No, for sure.
After like March 15th, that's when I made it official. Maybe I approached it the wrong way of how I made it official, but
You gave
worked
a
out.
decision, huh?
I feel like this is a good climax to that question, but the next question directly relates to you guys. It's about interracial relationships, right? So the question is, and Reza may look Asian, but he's actually Persian, right?
Yeah, this is actually interracial.
Full Persian.
yeah, technically. Yeah.
And you are, what's your ethnicity? Kim?
I'm Viet Chinese.
Okay, so you guys are totally different, Asian and Middle Eastern. Do you think, in your experience, what are the pros and cons of interracial dating and relationships?
I mean, for me, I think all of my past relationships have been interracial, but that's because I grew up in LA in a predominantly
Very
like
diverse.
Hispanic community.
What
so
were
there
the
weren't
pros and
many
cons of it?
Asians. There's so much good food. Like, let's be honest, I like to eat. And some of the biggest pros are the food. Like, you get to learn about people and their families through the foods, through how they cook, through how they invite you to parties. And you kind of build, like, you have your own background, but then you kind of develop a relationship with other people's backgrounds as well, which then carries you further. So it's like, I'll do things my way for my family, but then because I came from, LA, I'll do things that feel very rooted in like the Hispanic community. And it kind of carries on here where it's like, people talk to me and they're like, you're not from around here. Like, people know I'm not from Orange County. And that's because I carried on a lot of like the food and the culture and the relationships from my past relationships, from my past city, in addition to my own families. So there's just so much learning, growth, music, food that comes with interracial relationships. So just because a relationship doesn't necessarily work out with that person, I'm still gonna thank them for every like part of enrichment they brought into my life.
Because everything wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Okay, Reza, what do you think?
Well, I didn't really have what she had. I grew up in Anaheim Hills, like 30 minutes away, and all my past exes were white.
Bougie.
So basically, I didn't have anything of that. We didn't really do anything on that sort. Never learned about them, like their family. Like, all I did was maybe meet the parents, and that's it. That's as deep as it got. Pros wise,
Wait, why were they all white? Is it because
Is Anaheim Mills.
Anaheim Hills, yes.
there's not Hispanics and Asians and Middle Easterns?
It's mainly Middle Easterns and whites in Anaheim Hills.
So
100%.
So why didn't you date Middle Easterns?
I was more attracted to whites. If you want an honest answer, more attracted to whites.
Okay.
Keep it 100.
All right, you're out of here, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Was.
Okay.
Was.
Okay. So,
Way too wild.
what are the pros and cons for you of dating interracially, whites or Asian?
Well, I didn't really have. I mean, now its pros are fantastic. She's taught me so much, like culturally wise, that it's fantastic. Whites, they didn't teach me anything. If I'm being straight up, they did not teach me anything.
So there's
I'm
just a-
sure they
Basically,
taught
they
you a
lack
thing or
culture,
two.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah,
say that.
I think he was trying to
White
dance
people
around
lack
that.
culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing that I already knew.
Yeah.
Let's say it like that. Nothing I already knew. I already learned because I live in a white area. It's like I already learned what I think. Basically everything. Or maybe I didn't take off.
He's
that.
trying to be
I
nice
could-
about saying
I
they
could
didn't bring
defend the
anything to the
whites.
table.
I could defend the whites, but I'm not gonna do that right now.
I'm half white. I can say that. My mom is white. My dad's black.
Okay, so cons of interracial with white was there was a lack of cultural
Awareness.
That and then lack of interest between, I guess, their parents as well. Like they couldn't care
That's
less about
interesting.
it.
and then the pros were that you would learn new things.
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, Khadija, have you ever dated interracially?
I did. I dated someone that was Jewish for like 5 years, and it was really, really, really hard. I think for him, it's not a con, but for him it was
lying.
for him, because he grew up more white, it was harder for him to understand my culture and where I was coming from and who I was as a person. So we butted heads a lot. And so
What are you?
I'm Muslim, Pakistani. So, he didn't understand why I,
Fast on Ramadan?
yeah. And
Was he
during
willing to
Ra-
try to learn it though?
No, and I think that was
Oh,
the
that's the
problem
problem.
because
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes people are very stubborn and stuck in their ways
Definitely.
and think that their way is the only way. So I think that's why it was hard for us. But like Ramadan is a great example. That's like 30 days where we fast, and technically you're not supposed to really be physical, right? And so I remember me telling him, hey, I'm going to fast during the 30 days and I also can't see you because that's just, if I'm around you, we're obviously going to do physical things and we can't do that. Like, that's something I just can't do. And I remember him getting so upset, like, what, 30 days? I can't see you for that. We can't do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, well, I'm like, well, that's a major part of who I am. I grew up
So,
fasting.
how
every
long
year.
into the relationship did you have this conversation with him?
Oh, I never had that conversation with him. It was, I internalized it a lot, and I held a lot of resentment towards him because I felt like I couldn't be who I was because he wasn't understanding where I was coming from.
So this is like a fundamental difference in their belief systems.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, and you guys never, even though you guys were from two different parts of the world, you never sat down to at least try to open up the door to that conversation of understanding the background and where you come from.
Wait. This isn't therapy session right now about her
Hey, no.
relationship. I was just
This is-
asking
this-
the pros and cons.
You ask your questions, I'm gonna ask mine.
I
The
think
cons
those
was
for
that it was a
some
difference,
people,
right? Was there
yeah.
any pros that you could tell?
Mm.
Nothing? Zero?
Damn.
Okay, let me go. I wanna go then. I wanna comment on this.
I still want to hear what she had to say
I
because
was
somebody might want to hear this, bro.
He's gonna be watching this and be like,
No, I think those are difficult conversations to have that not everyone grows up equipped to have those conversations, right?
Yeah.
So, and this goes to what we talked about before. Remember about having those difficult conversations when you're in a relationship with anybody. A lot of people will table those and back burner it and won't want to have it, and that's that time where you won't really know and understand if this person is really the person for you until you know how they're going to deal with a difficult conversation.
okay,
very
no,
true.
that's fair.
That's
Okay,
why I wanted to ask those questions, bruh.
I told you I was gonna pick on you, bro.
That's all right. We're gonna pick on each other.
I think one of the cons is they don't understand the language that my family's speaking during a
That's
family
big.
event. I
That's big.
don't want to be like, oh, by the way, everyone's laughing. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, this is what they said. Every
That's
joke that's
big.
going on. Oh,
You know,
this
I'm
and
just gonna
that.
pull up Google Translator and let it run.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's I think one of the biggest cons. I just feel like bringing her into the family unit would cause a lot of gaps. And another con is like, what if y'all are the same, different religions, right? You said Jewish
Yeah.
and Muslim. How you gonna like? What's the kids' situation gonna be like? And I mean, I think there's a way to work around that, but what is the way? It's not gonna be like super easy. It's gonna be something that you guys have to have a difficult conversation
Well,
about.
and that's the part. Those difficult conversations. You can sit there and say you love anybody, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the different upbringing, you know, he was raised in the Anaheim Hills. She was raised in L.A.
And it's LA.
Right. No, I
Yeah,
get exactly.
yeah.
So when you have that, her understanding and, you know, seeing things and understanding things is going to be completely different from his. He's probably going to jump and get scared when he hears gunfire or a car backfire. She won't because she's used to hearing it. You see what I'm saying? So that's where that level of, I need to explain this, or you need to have this understanding. Or when she goes to where he's from, it's like, why is everybody over here acting like this?
You would not believe when I first went over to his place, he opened up his backyard and I smacked him. I said, "Why did we hang out at my place
Right,
when you
we
have
got
a
all
whole,
this shit over here.
You got a whole
You got a
pool.
pool. You got a Picasso in your house.
He got a pool in his backyard, and I'm like, why are we hanging out at my place?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
So it's just things like that. Like, how flexible
So-
are they to learn your world?
Was it
Yeah,
a full-on
exactly.
backhand or a front hand smack? Oh, back.
Just
Yeah.
full
Okay,
full
alright.
backhand on camera sent to my roommates because my roommates are also from LA, and they're just like, why are we having barbecues at his
right.
place?
We should be hanging out at his crib. you
Yeah,
know.
but a lot of it just boils down to how much do you trust the other person to
Right.
guide you into
Right.
their world. Like before, he would be like, "Oh, like maybe we shouldn't hit like the food trucks. Maybe we shouldn't hit the food stands in Santa Ana." And I'm like, "No, we gonna go. We gonna get tacos in Santa Ana at midnight because that's when the tacos taste the best.
That's when they
Like,
taste the best.
It's cash only.
That's when the
Bring
freaks come
20.
out at night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the freaks come out, that's when the best food comes out. Like sometimes you just gotta get down and dirty in a
Gotta be
different
careful,
city.
though.
And so it's stuff like that where you're like, yeah, he trusted me to do that, and I can like hang around his city, and it's like, a little Venn diagram, right? So it's a bit here, a bit there, big give and take, and it's not easy 100% of the time, but
It's
We make it
never
work.
easy. The thing, you have to enter it with an open mind, not with a jaded point of view or a jaded thought process. Once you because it's hard enough as it is, you're bringing two different people together, but then you're bringing two different lifestyles together,
Yeah.
two different walks of life together, two different mindsets. And
Right.
so the hard part is you have to be understanding and open, right? And a lot of people don't want to be understanding. No, the earth is flat.
Well, because it
or
challenges
the earth
everything
is
that
round.
you've ever
It
known.
Yeah.
Exactly. It
That's
challenges
why. And
everything
that's
that you
difficult.
grew up understanding. It challenges what your parents taught you, how they taught you. And now you're like, well, I'm introduced to this whole new world
Yeah.
that I never knew existed 30 miles away.
Yep.
Yeah, which is why we
Because-
resist.
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
much to-
And most people live in a bubble, right? Now, this is my world. This is my lane, and I'm going to stay in it until somebody pulls you out of it, and then you're willing to learn and understand, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Michelle, what do you think? Pros and cons of interracial relationships and dating.
Pros and cons. I mean, it's fucking hard. Like dating someone interracially is hard. Like, I mean, if we were to have my mom on this podcast, she'd be like, "Oh my god."
But since you are two different races, right?
Yeah.
So which one's harder for you?
It's so I've dated black men before,
Okay.
and like it's probably easier for me to relate to a black man.
Okay.
And I've dated.
Who's your mom or your dad is black?
My dad is black and my mom is white. So my mom was actually born in Germany and she migrated here when she was a little girl. So my grandmother is German. My whole mom's side of the family is German.
But it was easier for you, dating a black guy versus a white guy.
Yeah, I think because the black side of my family is huge. Like we roll deep. Like it's really, really big. And so I did spend equal time with like my dad's side of the family and with my mom's side of the family. But like my mom's side of the family is so small. She has 4 sisters that are here and each one of her kids had like 1 kid. I mean, each one of her sisters had like 1 kid. So I probably have like 6 cousins, but like on my dad's side of the family, like my grandma had 10 kids, then her 10 kids had 10 kids. Like the family is really big.
So you identify with like being more black
Black,
then. And
yeah.
so you dating the same culture for you would be dating a black man. But let's say
For sure.
now interracial meant everything else. Like what's the pros and
And I
cons
have.
of that?
So I did my ex-husband is white. And so like that was hard. Like the first like 3-4 months of our relationship was like really difficult. Like that was during like the whole like Trump era. And so like we had different opinions on like political views. Like I come from a background where like I think that like people should serve, and I mean that like in community service sense. And so like he didn't really believe in that. So it was like, well, and sometimes people think like, oh, well, serving means that like you are for people getting food stamps and you're just giving things out. And I'm like, well, the reality is that like typically women who are getting food stamps or some type of assistance, they're getting it and they have like 2 and 3 jobs, like, and they still can't make ends meet. It's not that these women are sitting at home not, doing anything. So I think it's just like trying to teach someone like a different way that they grew up thinking,
Yeah.
right? So it's really it's a challenge. There are pros though, right? Like the pros are learning someone else's culture. Like, so he wasn't completely 100% white. He was like part Hawaiian, Filipino, Japanese, Irish. So like there were like parts of him that were like Asian, right? But it's
Overall,
it's fucking hard.
okay. All right.
I'm not gonna say I don't recommend it, but I think that you just have to have a lot of
You just gotta
patience.
be ready for
Yeah.
the ride that you're gonna be on, because everything won't be understood that should be
Oh,
understood,
100%.
and you have to over-explain.
100%.
But in the
Absolutely.
explanation, they have to be willing to be open to
Yes.
receive
Yes.
the explanation of what a different lifestyle is
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, but it's kind of like teaching a dolphin to climb a tree. Like it's kind of just
He can jump up in that motherfucker though. You got the pool close enough.
Yeah, good luck with that, man. Yeah, I get it. Like it could work if both people are super open, but if people are set in their ways, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot harder.
Here's the other
Yeah.
side to that though. We didn't even touch the part about the families being involved.
I did. I said that when you're at a family party and
No,
you
so-
gotta explain
Yeah,
the,
but
the
just
joke.
that's just
That's
the
your
conversation.
part.
That's just
Right.
that part, right?
But what about the family
The
as a
family,
whole?
the upbringing.
Yeah.
the how we talk and deal with each other. You know, there's levels to levels to levels of what happens. You can take somebody like in Michelle's situation here with her ex. I guarantee you, the first time he went to a cookout and a barbecue, he was culture shocked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, so
Yeah.
in that sense, interesting enough, so he went to a high school that was like majority of the people were black. Right?
Okay,
So, like most of
okay,
his friends
okay,
were black. And like he's
okay.
very cultured in that sense, but to your point though, like then he grew up and he got a job and he ended up in a different tax bracket. And so like the people around him had a certain like mindset. And so
Yeah.
it's still breaking someone out of like,
Right.
you know.
You got to change them a little bit,
Yeah.
man. It's crazy, man, when you see it that way. And people are like, oh man, what is all this? Why are they arguing? It sounds like they're about to fight. Well, no, they're not about to fight. That's just how they
Yeah.
talk.
Are you guys noticing that in your relationship, that like some of the pros and cons that we mentioned?
Not as much, I'd say, to be honest. I mean,
I think to be fair, his family unit's pretty small. He's an only child, 2 parents. And my family lives in LA, so I don't see them as often. So I think that's one of the privileges of like who I am. It's I function as a mainly like independent unit.
Right.
So though
So you're not
That's-
codependent on the family side of that's another
right.
part of it.
So I think it's how close and like layered your
Yep.
relationship with your family is, because when I was younger, before I like left home and moved out to Orange County, I would say, yeah, of course.
Okay, no, I have a comment. So
Yeah.
if you were born out here,
I was born in LA.
okay, so
Yeah.
you were born in America.
Yeah.
But if you were born in China and you were maybe only out here for 5 years, that'd be a totally different thing.
I would say even being born here. So I would say growing up, there was an expectation that I was to marry the same race. They're like, marry someone Asian, preferably someone Viet or Chinese. There's gonna be like, they basically had like this thought that it would be a seamless like marriage and cultural transition as long as both sides of the family get along fine, fair game. But I think it was as I got older and they saw me kind of break like boundaries academically through work, and they realized more and more that I am independent and that I'm walking a very thin line between like our family culture and who I am independently outside of the culture. That's when they kind of let go of their expectations a bit, because realistically I didn't bring anyone home growing up, because I was like, okay, I had crushes here and there, but I didn't actually
Right.
like bring anyone to the family
Yeah.
because I knew they wouldn't like
They
them.
wouldn't accept them.
Yeah, because all of my friends, I had like maybe 1 or 2 Asian friends, everyone else Hispanic, everyone else Black. Like I just wasn't around that.
Do you think to some extent they thought, okay, well, maybe we should back off because like we may lose her?
Right.
They did lose me.
Mm.
So I moved out
Interesting,
to I moved out to Orange County to go to college at UCI. Went to the dorms, disconnected all of my finances from them. So I self-financed myself to go to school. And I was like, okay, bye. And they're like, are you coming home? And I'm like, no. Like I need to figure out like who I am, what I'm doing here.
Right.
And
Good for you.
you already
Yeah.
raised me, so like have trust in me that I'll
Right.
figure it out
Yeah.
and I'll come home and we'll like fix this between the two of us. But like as of right now, I'm sick of being at home. I'm sick of saying okay to all of your requests. Like I just can't do this and figure out who I am at the same time. So I
That
kind
escalated
of just,
quickly.
yeah, no, honestly, I kind of just detached for 7, 8, 9 months. And when summer came around, that's when we had the conversation like, okay, do you want to come home, visit us for the summer and like we kind of fix things, or like is this the end? So that's when I decided to come home for the summer and like reopen that relationship, reopen the conversations. And from that point, they're like, oh, she's not Captain. She will leave. We will lose her. And I'm like, yeah, you will.
That happens to a lot of people in
Yeah.
a lot of different areas of life.
Yeah.
Once they get enough confidence and they feel strong enough,
Mhm.
they will leave.
Yeah.
You know, and either go stay with a friend or get out on their own. And it's a trip when you meet people that's done that. Their mindset is completely different. It's not codependent,
Yeah.
right? You don't have that, oh, well, I need you here and I need this, and they're not needy because, oh, man, look, I've been doing this myself for years,
Yeah.
you know, which teaches you to be open to a lot of different things, understanding to a lot of different things, because you're not under that brainwash of what your mom or your dad or somebody else.
Okay, I wouldn't call it brainwash. I would
Oh,
call
it's
it
brainwash.
I would call it how close are you to your roots, right? So it seems like you're not as close to your Asian roots, and that's why you were able to break away from that. But I think the
I-
close Go
I
ahead.
would disagree.
How close
I
are how cultural are you then in the Asian culture?
Actually, incredibly. I am bilingual, was born and raised bilingual. I kept up the language. I have all the traditional dresses ready
But
for
you
every
don't have
single
an
holiday.
accent though.
I don't, but my first language was in English. I was completely only speaking in Vietnamese until I was about 4 or 5. So though I was born here,
So you celebrate all the Asian or
I do.
Vietnamese and Chinese culture?
yeah, Lunar New Year's, I send him pictures every time.
You don't have
so-
an accent either on me.
Ooh,
Yeah. So what's
ooh,
the point?
shots fired.
Just,
Shots fired. He's
you know,
he's taking you down with me.
just-
No, but so yeah, I think this whole line of question is like the closer you are to your roots, the harder it's gonna be to reprogram that person.
I'm
Or
not
I
sure
don't
it's the
agree
root.
with that though.
No. I think it's the family thing that you talked about.
Yeah.
It's like having those influences, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
similar to like what Kim was saying is that I know someone who's also Vietnamese,
Mhm.
and so he dated a white girl for 5 years,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, okay, well, like, do your thing, like sow your oats, like have
Yeah.
fun, but like we want you to marry a Vietnamese." Like,
okay,
girl.
you're right. You guys are both
It's
right.
It's the family aspect
Mhm.
and having your family kind of dictate and kind of
Trying to live your life for you.
yeah.
So those are the biggest components: is how close are you to your roots, and how involved is your family in your decision making process and
And how
influence.
important it is to you, because you could be super close to it and be like, well, I fucking love you and we're gonna make this work, we're gonna figure it out. Some people just aren't like strong enough to do that.
Most people, man, they conform.
Yeah.
It's better to make everybody else happy than making myself happy.
Ooh, and then when you get older you realize
Why the fuck
was
am I trying to?
why was I doing
Yeah,
that?
Why did I do that
for
shit?
so long?
Oh
There
my
it
God.
is.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I keep my head down and say yes
Why
to
did I do
everything?
Right.
Because yes, they grew up differently. They
Yeah.
grew up, on the motherland. They had
Mhm.
different expectations. Life was different.
Yeah.
So I think it was a matter of finding what made the most sense for me because I love my family. Like I visit them often. My mom and I have brunch every Sunday. Like we still have that relationship, but we have
It's
that
different
relationship
now, though,
now because we both took the time to see each other's perspectives.
Yeah.
She understands what I need to do. I understand why she feels nervous that I'm doing what I do because pioneering is hard. You're the
Oh, you
only
just gave me
one.
chills. Yeah.
Yeah, pioneering is hard, and being the person to break all these boundaries alone is hard because I'm leading the way for my sister. I'm leading the way for all my cousins.
And she's
I
scared
am-
for you
She's terrified
because she probably knows what that feels like,
Mhm.
right? And
because
so,
she started her roots here.
Yeah.
So she and her siblings were the first ones in the U.S. My dad was the first
Yeah.
of his siblings in the U.S. So they
Yeah.
both have that fear because they understand what it feels to pioneer.
Mhm.
But now I'm pioneering a different level of security, right? So they pioneered just for like the basic sense of
Right.
security. Now I'm pioneering for the sense of security in career, in like satisfaction, in overall like actualization. So they're just like, oh my God, is she going to be okay? But also they understand the eyes are on me because I'm also the first one born of the
All eyes
generation
on
here.
me.
So if I mess up, everyone's gonna see. All the relatives are gonna talk about me. So
and
they're
that's a
trying
big
to
thing in
really
the Asian
protect me.
culture is like
You
embarrassment.
can't
right?
make a mistake and
You
don't
can't,
embarrass
Yeah,
the family.
Don't embarrass the
Don't-
family. That's a
it's-
really
yeah.
big thing.
It's all about image. You
Yeah.
got to protect your image. You got to uphold your family name, your family image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's not just you, you're representing them.
Exactly.
Oh, look at me. I'm making people happy.
Well, I'm making myself happy now. So that's why it's scary.
Yeah.
You're doing the first, you're pioneering, you're pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
And like, it's not normal to them either.
Mm-mm.
And I don't think they even know most like Middle Eastern Persian people. Like their community is like
You
very
know how
small.
long it takes a lot of people to realize that in life? That I have to do what's necessary to make sure that I am happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy first before everybody else.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of people a lifetime to figure that out.
Yeah. And
Congratulations to you for
Thank
figuring
you,
out
thank
early.
you. Honestly, it was because I jumped the nest early. It was either get stuck in my
camera went out.
hometown.
Which one is
I knew it. I saw it when it happened.
the curse of that table?
Next time we should stop at like an hour and 35 because
I know.
Was that 149 mark again?
No, I went to 138 today.
38.
Oh,
Yeah.
last time I think it was like 147.
Yeah, 140, yeah.
140
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to cut out
Exactly.
130.
Okay, awesome. Well, did you guys have fun? Did everyone enjoy the questions this week?
No, I wish we would have gotten to some of the other questions.
Yeah, I know, me too. You can blame Darnell for that.
That's fine. You can blame me. Totally
We gotta
take
go to part 2.
responsibility for
Just
that.
recycle the questions for next week. We'll
Yeah,
have
no.
longer to simmer.
Yeah. Okay. Next week's questions are gonna be. Would you? We'll
Just wait till next
yeah,
week.
we'll get into
Give
next
it all
week.
up.
Yeah.
Giving up the
Uh,
goods.
So thanks for everyone for tuning in. Moro, I'm still gonna put you on blast for that.
Moro,
whole-
go out with the man, Jesus.
She already said she can't wait to go out, but I'm just like, oh, what happened to the ignoring that whole thing? Now you want to go out.
English, motherfucker!
No, we just gotta put 20 minutes aside next time and just start putting everyone on blast.
Right.
Okay, would you guys be down to come again?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna stop the stream and I will catch
Fade
you
to
all
black.
next Saturday.